Hey everybody, Coach Raskin, and today guys I'm going to do an anime review, as my review is to Korotayu Show Episode 7 guys, Episode 7 of Korotayu Show. So let's get into it. So guys, in this episode of Korotayu Show, it's pretty much the aftermath after the situation that got a cliffhanger between Rena and Yukihira. Now, we know, with the cliffhanger, we found out that what Yukihira got told about, the government actually watching them doing it, so they can give them a penalty if they don't find out again do it. We found out that was a lie by this guy who told him, who we also know works with the government for the marriage with the arranged marriage situation, but we found it's a lie because he was testing him, see if he would actually do it, if he would do it with Rena if he finds out that with this penalty, plus also with or found out that with. If he actually knew there was a penalty going to be involved, or pretty much would he actually do it with her out not for love, but to show she would be not be pretty much not to get him or herself get any penalties, so they won't be able to find a job in the future because of the grades would be demoted and everything be decreased as well. But he ends up not like he was close to, because it looked like he would have done, but he stopped himself because at the point when he puts Rena onto the bed and he's like on top, like standing on top, like crouched on top of her, he starts kissing Rena. But then he stops himself once he sees Rena crying, partly because she was scared, and then he tells her the reason why he done it, and then she tells him that they can't do that because it's against the law, and now we know, and in the government it can't break the law, even the government can't break the law, which we found. So he was like, and he just realized that you're right. Like he made, and he blames himself. Before he blames himself for doing that, he also, like, he did do something wrong, but yet again, we also know he got somewhat manipulated. But yet again, when you find out but we also know he will stop himself. He will stop himself if he knows the person he is doing it to didn't actually want to do it. Like, well, you can definitely tell in Rena's case that she wanted to do it, but yet again, she can't help because feelings that she will cry, because if she did, she'd be like betraying her new friend, Takanashi, which I understand as well, which is again bad in a way, which, and also Rena knows Yukihira is in love with Takanashi, so for her, this was like a situation where she was like scared but also upset that he's doing this for protecting her. But yet again, he did force himself on her when she actually wasn't planning on actually doing anything with him, which made her a bit scared. But yet again, we also now know now it's being confirmed that she's actually in love with Yukihira, so she would like to, but she can't put her feelings up to it because, like I said, in the situation they're in right now. When Yukihira finds out, and after it got concluded that the night sex situation is over, they decide, he went to and tell this man, you lied to me and about everything, but then he tells him it because of the test, and he now said it looks like you're the person who actually would do it with Takanashi, the person you're actually in love with. So pretty much you will do it with the other girl. But unfortunately, it did affect Rena emotionally, and Yukihira felt very bad about that because he did something terrible. So even though Rena understands that it was by accident, and he got pretty much manipulated into doing it, so she actually understands. But even though she understands, she still has some form of the right of having a form of being scared and disliking of Yukihira touching her, and even coming close in contact with her. So after Yukihira was replying, saying in text telling him he's sorry about it, she didn't reply or anything, because she is still mentally recovering from the situation she got put into, which makes logical sense. Like, Yukihira, he just shows you how innocent he is. Like, all of this what he did, like I said, even though most people will classify, how the hell is he innocent? Like, how the hell is he, like, I'm not talking about innocent as in, he did not do it at all. I'm talking about as innocent, and I'm talking about his personality type. Like, he wouldn't actually do it. He's not someone who just have sex with anyone. He is someone who would have, if he is going to have sex, it will be with the person he loves, and more likely, and again, he also don't forget, he's quite dense, he doesn't fully understand all the situation. He's the innocent type of character. He is the innocent type of dense character, which means we know that he won't commit these sins at all without a freaking good reason. A good reason to the point that he unconsciously puts himself into that. In this case, and plus being freaking dense, problem is, he can be easily manipulated into those situations. So, he doesn't do this willingly, he pretty much gets manipulated into these situations. Just shows you how innocent he actually is when it comes to these stuff. So, and again, Renna knows that. After all, the government did pair these guys together, because they actually technically, scientifically, they're able to work together. Able to be a couple most effectively together. So that means Renna will, of course, because technically in this situation, this is actually a scientifical situation technically that are in. Like, even though it's emotional, it's technically scientifical from the situation they're in. So in a way, the government was somewhat right that they do actually make a very good couple. They do make a very couple, because Renna fully understands what type of person he actually is, and she knows he won't actually do that. He won't. He won't do it with her unless she wants to. Like, he fully understands that. So that's a reason on why she also feels upset, because in her mind she does actually want to do, but she's like feels betrayal for, or not just to Takanashi, but feels betrayal for Yukihira, because he could have done it with her without doing it with the actual person he's in love with, and she would feel guilty for that. Taking something that's technically his first time, his virginity, one he actually wanted at the start, when he wanted to do with the person he loved, Takanashi, she felt very guilty in a way, and that's the reason why once Yukihira kissed her, tongues as well, by the way, kissed her and tongues as well, she felt she felt a lot of guilt from that. So she was scared of Yukihira touching her, and she doesn't fully understand why she was feeling like that, but she does feel guilt, and that's the reason why she sort of didn't want to see Yukihira, and part of the reason why she didn't reply to the text. But we also got fine. But then during the rest of the episode, we found out when Yukihira got to school after not replying to his texts or anything, for saying sorry and everything. Yukihira, again, feeling very depressed of what he'd done, and he finds out that his school is doing his class for the culture festival that Japanese schools usually do quite often. They do culture festivals for their school, which is taking, I think, an anniversary, pretty much. It's like an anniversary for how long the school has been around for, pretty much. They pretty much do a culture festival and do the class chooses on doing a play. They decided to do a play, and the play they chose was Romeo and Juliet. But with a twist that the characters, the main character Romeo and Juliet, and I take it all the other characters as well, there will be gender swaps. In other words, Juliet will be played by a male, and a female, and Romeo will be played by a female. And the people who got chosen to be Romeo and Juliet are Nishiki, pretty much Yukihiro's best friend, and Takanashi, who's playing Romeo. Juliet for Nishiki, and Romeo for Takanashi. So Yukihiro was a bit shocked in that situation, but then he somewhat accepted it because he wasn't there anyway, and he understands the situation with that, so he accepts that. And during the time, during the point where Yukihiro's team was building the factory chain, the stand, pretty much the stand for the tower for Juliet to stand on. Yukihiro accidentally drops the little wooden statue figure that Rena brought him. Like I said, he feels guilt for what he did, so he emotionally, of course, as he bought it for her, he didn't want it to break, so he regrets and tries to grab it. But once he grabbed it, the position his hand was in, and where the figure, where the stone statue necklace thing, element thing dropped to, was a plank of wood that one of his classmates were hammering a nail in, and I don't think it's a nail. I don't think there was, they didn't see any nails, but obviously it has to be a nail because it involved a hammer. But his classmate accidentally slams the hammer right into his hand, and it pretty much hurts his hand. I think it's, but I don't think it's a fucking hammer. It's surprised it didn't break. It ends up spraying him, but it didn't break his hand. It didn't break his hand, which is surprising. It's a fucking hammer. And it was an actual, normal hammer hit. It's a normal hammer hit. What you expect to hit a freaking nail with. And don't forget, that kind of force is enough to usually break a hand. But it looks like it didn't. Which is lucky for Yukihiro. But when Takanashi heard that Yukihiro hurt his arm, after class to take it, she pretty much ran to the nurse's office to see Yukihiro, see if Yukihiro is alright. And during that, Yukihiro doesn't fully tell Takanashi what actually happened with Rena, but he does say that he did something terrible to bad to Rena, which he feels depressed about that he did, and that's the reason why he was depressed all day, because Takanashi was worried for Yukihiro, because all day he was acting worried and stuff, and looked depressed during all day, so she was worried for him, and Yukihiro tells her, it's because I did something terrible to Rena. He doesn't tell her what he did, but he tells her he did something terrible to her. Obviously, it makes logical sense. It does make sense why he didn't tell her, because it might cause a even more complicated situation. But yet again, I think this even causes an even more complicated situation. So pretty much after that, after school, Takanashi pretty much calls Rena, and they hang out at pretty much a bakery shop, a cafe. They order hotcakes, which are similar to pancakes. Similar, but I think they're more, not savory, but pancakes, don't forget, are more savory. Pancakes are more savory, when I think hotcakes are more sweet. So they brought hotcakes, and I think that's what they are, all pancakes. I might be confused if there's either hotcakes, because it looks like hotcakes and pancakes are quite similar. I have never tried hotcakes. Pancakes, obviously. British pancakes, by the way. British pancakes. The difference between there is difference between American pancakes and British pancakes. Because British pancakes, a lot of the time, they're a lot bigger. Most of them are a lot bigger compared to American pancakes. Plus also, we have less ingredients to make them than American style does it. I think also we don't add sugar to it. We don't add sugar to us. Of course, we might add sugar there and there if you like sugar in your pancakes or add it to your pancakes. But we don't really add sugar to our pancakes. We just add mainly salt, flour, egg, milk, or water, depending which liquid you're using. Milk or water depends. Like I said, really depends on what you're using. But milk does go well. I think milk is better to use when it comes to making pancakes with. But that's what we have. For me personally, I actually add pepper to our pancakes. We actually add black pepper. We add pepper to ours, like grinded pepper. We add that as well, which again works extremely well on pancakes. Like you even though it's pepper, which you don't even expect to be in any form of sweet dish, it does actually surprisingly go well with pancakes, which can be sweetened. So which is pretty good as well. But so I'm confused with I'm still quite confused with the difference between hotcakes and pancakes. So anybody tells me that what's the difference between hotcakes and pancakes, that would be good. Like, tell me what's the difference. Like, what's the difference between hotcakes and pancakes? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Pretty much when they ordered either hotcakes or pancakes with cream on top, Rena, Takanashi talks to Rena that Yuki was feeling down today. He didn't feel like himself. She wanted to tell him, do you know what's going on? She didn't actually tell him that she somewhat knows that he did something to her that makes her feel bad, makes her not talking to Yukiya. But then Rena says, I don't know because I haven't seen for a while, and then she pretty much gets into pretty much that talk as well. Not that much, not less detail than Yuki here. She doesn't even tell for her that what actually causes not to feel down that much. But then she also tells her that I said I don't want to see him, but again I feel lonely without him, and that's what she says to him. And at one point, Takanashi was about to say that you're in love. It sounds like you're in love with Yukiya, but of course she makes sure she doesn't say that, because what we found in the end is because she's a bit selfish. Because if she did, the other situation that it could involve them actually finding that Yukiya and Rena both love each other, and they could start fully going out, and Yukiya will no longer love Takanashi, which Takanashi doesn't want that, so she doesn't say that, because we found out during the episode. Now, another thing we found out is the guy who told Yukiya about that if about if we'd be watching you in the next room, the one who told that lie to him, so who pretty much test Yukiya, the one who tested Yukiya, he actually tells him he had a client that was like that before, who was in the similar situation that Yukiya is in right now, that because this supposed client was going out with a girl that he's been going out since, well, pretty much childhood. They were actually officially going out, but then they the girlfriend end up getting her notice. But then what the girlfriend said, she will, if you're willing to marry me, I will decline this notice and this arranged marriage. She would decline it. But then this guy, her boyfriend, didn't want her to, of course, do that. He wants her to have the best future possible. So in the end, they end up breaking up. But then once he got his notice, he then started to realize how important she was to him. So yeah, and it's quite obvious from the hair that the person he was talking about wasn't a client, but himself. So the person who told Yukiya this, told this lie to Yuki, tested Yuki here. He tested him mainly, it looks like, on a personal level. Even though, of course, it looks like the government does know about this, because there's no way, how would he know? Like, he had no connection to Yuki here at any point. So, of course, that means, obviously, he got this information from the government. So, the government, and makes logical, and it does sort of make sense why he would be on Yukihire's case. Why he would be on the Yukihire case between this situation. Because he being put, looks like the government also knows he was originally in that situation before himself. So it does sort of make sense why he got put as a pretty much a guardian or someone pretty much let's see, I'm trying to say that is inspecting, I think that's inspecting, the one who's inspecting Yukihire. It would be more sense to him to inspect with a person who's been in a similar situation that Yukihire is in right now. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Why? Because, like I said, as he's been in that situation before, he wants to see what Yukihire would choose. Would he choose the one he loves, or would he choose Rena, so possible better future? Like, that is the situation he's in. And yeah, and pretty much that's what all the episode is all about. The aftermath of the situation Yukihire and Rena is. Oh, and by the way, they did sort of made up. Yukihire and Rena did make up because after after this talk with after Yukihire had this talk with this guy, he decides to text Rena again, talk about apologizing as well, but he done it in a way to make sure she might have an easier time to reply or not feel too bad about replying. Of course, she doesn't reply by text, but she ends up replying to him via letter. She sends a letter to him, and she replies to him pretty much on what she somewhat forgives him. Like, she tells him that I still have not fully recovered from it, but yet again she forgives him, and she also says good luck on, because he sends text. Part of the text one part of his text he sent to her is that he was doing a culture festival with Romeo and Juliet, and Rena says also good luck in your play. Good luck liking Romeo and Juliet play, and he feels happy about it, and the episode ends with that. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Animation quality looked fucking good. Didn't see any big problems there. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Anyway guys, that's my anime review to Korotaiyu Show episode 7. Hope you guys like it. We've got fans today. If you guys send me a mail, good down below. My chat, and yeah, hope you guys like it. Come on, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys!